better all over quality of life. Miracles Outreach focuses on youth that are ages 12 to 17, which are young ladies in foster care. We also work with youth that are homeless and who have aged out of the foster care system, ages 18 to 24. We started our first residential program in 2007. Prior to 2007, we served as an after-school program, serving in the community of Sulphur Springs. We also had the opportunity to partner with the school board and become an ATAL site, which was the Alternatives Out of School Suspension. But in 2007, we opened our first residential program for girls that were ages 12 to 17 with the intent of being able to provide services to help get them back on track, to do whatever it takes to be able to provide a loving family environment that those children were missing. Quickly, we became a program that focused on serving youth that were in more trouble, a little harder to place in traditional foster care settings, youth that had been had a lot of sexual abuse, domestic violence, and or human trafficking. The human trafficking piece for us was nothing that we ever set out to do in the beginning. Had absolutely no idea what human trafficking was in the first place and had never heard of it. So those first 2 years we were serving these victims, didn't have an idea that we were serving them. And in 2009 I was contacted by the FBI to find out what it is that we were doing with the young ladies who were victims of trafficking. Didn't know what trafficking was. I asked what was human trafficking. He explained it to me and let me know that of the list of 17 young ladies that he was working with, we had served 11 of these young ladies already at the time, and we were able to let him know that these young ladies were either enrolled in community college, where they were, and what was going on in their lives. That particular incident is what really thrust us into working with victims of human trafficking and participating in that first task force that was established in 2010 here. And we had the opportunity to serve with great people to be able to get the message out and continue to work with learning how to work with victims of trafficking and being able to share our experience to be able to help put some things in place to be able to make things for better for young ladies that were coming in and had been victims of trafficking. From the perspective of human trafficking involves the use of force, fraud, and coercion to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act, basically trading anything of value for sex, and that's considered exploitation. Youth in foster care tend to be a target for traffickers most of the times due to being constantly moved, going from place to place, or a lot of times just feeling that there's not that parental guidance or someone overseeing and knowing what's actually going on with their child. So that's a lot of times puts those children at risk. Currently, right now, in the foster care system, based on a report from the Ann Casey Foundation, there's about 420,000 children that are in foster care. About 442,000 children that are in foster care in the United States. This is something that we deal with on a daily basis. Not all of our youth that we work with are victims of trafficking. We do deal with youth that have a lot of trauma, that have experienced all kind of trauma, everything from sexual abuse, rape, feeling unwanted, being homeless, anything that you can think of. It's trauma. And that's what we really focus on. And then this year, the report for 2020 showed for DCF that there were a report of about 1,900 reports of trafficking called into the abuse hotline. So we have seen somewhat of a decrease in 100 calls a year. They're down to 1,900 for 2020. At Miracles, our motto is see a need, meet the need. We get a lot of different needs that come in that we work with on a daily basis. And sometimes you say one for all, all for one. It really doesn't work that way. You have to meet the child where they are to be able to serve that young lady, to be able to give the best services possible. And we try our best to make sure that whatever works for you. We have to be creative sometimes. And sometimes that means if you're a child who has not been in school for a long time, from being moved from place to place, and it's just not working for you, our operations managers have our dominoes policy in effect, which is give her a call, we'll pick them up in 30 minutes or less. That's in order to be able to keep the kids from being kicked out of school, expelled, it's whatever it takes to be able to help that child understand that they have purpose, that they just have purpose, and that we are willing to work with them. I do feel that our keys of success has been more of being able to provide a non-judgmental environment when they come in, accepting them for who they are and where they are, and just making sure that they know that they are loved, that you can be loved and not need anything in return other than being able to see you succeed in life. That's really huge for us. Being trustworthy is definitely a key, knowing that you have to build those rapport with those children, build a trust, and let them know that no matter what, you're going to be there for them. And I think the biggest thing would be that we have a very forgiving environment. We practice the attitude of forgiveness. I know a lot of times kids do things and people kick them out. If they're in foster care, they get kicked out very quickly. We really don't. We believe in giving them a chance time and time again. We forgive the same way that we've been forgiven. So it's important for us to make sure that they understand that we can forgive them. It's not that serious. Let's do what it takes to get back on track. You may have gone off track. That's what does it take to get you back on track. So those are the things that we really pride ourselves in being able to help make a difference in that particular population that we serve, to be able to help them to understand that the things that they've been through does not define them, and that it's not their fault that they ended up in the situations they're in. And it's just important to be able to know that they have people that love and care about them and that are willing to be that support system for them. Since 2007, we've grown from at 2007, we started with 6 beds. Our current total beds we have is 52. So we have one of the largest girls' homes in the state of Florida, girls programs in the state of Florida, which allows us to serve those 52 children that we have. We have 6 beds in all the beds are here in Hillsborough County. We have 6 beds in Pinellas County. That's really our primary focus in being able to just provide that love, structure, and discipline. I don't have a rocket science method to this of what it takes to serve these young ladies, or being able to help get them to the next level. It's the same thing. So,
before I turn off the camera, could you tell the story that you told me the other day about what happens in and around a Super Bowl with?
Oh, absolutely. During the Super Bowl, we are very vigilant. We have the opportunity to work with different other organizations to help. Kids are brought in from other places, or young ladies, or kids, it can be male or female, brought in from other places with trafficking rings who, during that time, because they're moving place to place, it's easy to bring people in to trade off, to be able to provide these different services. You have parties going on, you have so much going on that it's very easy to take these victims and move them from place to place. I will say it's very important that if you see something sometimes that doesn't look right, speak up, say something. You never know, you may save a life. I know about a year or 2 ago, I don't know if you heard, it was a story where the man was traveling with a young lady, and the stewardess on the plane had been through the training, and she recognized that something just didn't look right because of the way the young lady was looking. She was scared. She was with an older gentleman, and the lady made the call, and the young lady was rescued. So you just never know. And you may be wrong, but it's better to be safe than to be sorry. I would say for the human trafficking hotline number, just in case anyone needs it, if you think you know someone, or you think you see something that needs to be reported, or even if it's someone that may feel that they're a victim and needs to report it, the number, the trafficking hotline number is 888-373-7888. Or you can text Be Free 233-733. And I'll be happy to answer any questions for you at this time.